Today, ladies and gents, we will be checking out a channel called His Story. Addicting stories uploaded every single day. This channel is the new ZackD Films, I'm hearing. This channel is the new ZackD Films. I even hear that it's better than ZackD Films. So I want to find out today. Because people are saying the thing that makes this channel really stand out is how dark the videos get. Apparently they can get pretty dark and disturbing, some of the stories. So I thought we would watch his story until we all decided that it just got a bit too dark. It just got a bit too disturbing, just got a bit too weird. And the way we'll do that today is play horse. We'll play horse. We'll have a ref in chat as well. Maybe we'll do some voting. Every time we feel like a story got a bit too weird or strange or dark, we'll give it a letter. We'll spell out dark. So D-A-R-K. We get to K, video's over, we're done there, and we move on to some snakes and ladders. Sound good?
I want that green, that green, that green. I want that house for my wife and my old team. I want that green.
King of Cheese, you are the first ref, okay? You will be helping us spell out dark. We'll be playing a game of horse. When you find something that you deem as dark, too strange, too weird, you will then clock it and say stop. Chat will then vote. If they agree, letter on the board. If they do not agree, you lose your ref. Sound good?
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we learned Morse code. We tapped messages under the
9 learning Morse code that's impressive. I couldn't even whistle at night.
Dinner table when Mom told us to stop talking and tapped through the wall between our bedrooms every night. When Chris got into a car accident and the doctor said he'd never wake up, I pulled up a chair next to his bed, took his hand, and tapped. Are you there? Nothing. But I came back the next afternoon and tapped again. Before I left,
This is going to be like a beautiful Hallmark story. Just wait for it. This is going to end well. This is not going to be dark. This is going to be good. Wait, Cheese didn't say anything. This is going to be good.
I always said the same thing. See you tomorrow, Chris. A week later, Chris's fingers twitched against mine, and I almost fell out of my chair. I grabbed a nurse, and she barely looked up. They're reflexes. It doesn't mean anything. I bought a notebook the next day and started writing down every single one. 4 months in, Mom watched me scribbling and said, "How long are you going to keep doing this?" Until he taps back.
Until he taps back.
He's not gonna tap back. You're talking to a corpse. Dad lasted a few more months before he pulled me into the hallway.
Y'all don't believe.
We need to talk about donating your brother's organs. His fingers move every time I hold his hand, Dad. The nurses said those are reflexes. Stop getting your hopes up, son. I don't care what the nurses say. You're not donating my brother's organs.
Facts.
But a week later, my parents called to have Chris transferred to a long-term facility to die and scheduled a meeting to sign the papers.
Chat, I don't think it's going to end well. Chat, I don't think it's going to... Guys, I might be lying about the Hallmark ending. Wait.
Noon before the meeting, I tapped into his palm like always, but this time, something tapped back. Short, long, short,
okay.
short, SOS. I grabbed his hand. Chris, if that's you, squeeze once. He squeezed so hard my knuckles cracked. I stormed into the meeting room and told them my brother just responded to me. The caseworker said, "This is very common with families who aren't ready to let go."
Oh my God.
Nodded. I grabbed the transfer papers off the table. "You're not signing anything until you come see for yourself." I walked them to Chris's bed and grabbed his hand. Ask him anything. The caseworker asked what year it was. Chris squeezed out the answer.
Let's go. Let's go. You know, in those TV shows where like the patient does something, the parents walk in the room and then they don't do it again? And it's so frustrating. I really thought it was going to go like that. I was like, oh, please don't piss me off.
Five perfect squeezes. His mother's name, tapped out letter by letter. By the 10th question, she said, "He's still alive. We can't move him." Weeks later, I asked Chris what kept him fighting when everyone gave up. Heard Mom call me a corpse. Heard Dad say donate my organs. Heard all of them leave, except you. I asked why. I wanted to see you too.
That's beautiful. No, that's peak. That's wholesome right there. W's in the chat. Ooh woos in the chat for warm hug. Ooh woos in the chat for warm hug. Such a good ending. Ref says we're good. I say we're good too. All right, next video. That's not Captain Hopkins.
The flight attendant slipped me a napkin that said, "The pilot isn't who he says he is. Meet me in the back to talk."
Oh, she's trying to fight! Is what he thought she was trying to do. But in reality, she had an actual important message to talk to him about.
I knew she chose to tell me because of the military dog tags around my neck. I folded the napkin and slid it into my pocket, and that's when the captain's voice came over the intercom. Good morning, folks. This is Captain Hopkins, expecting smooth skies to Chicago, but something was wrong. I could feel it in my bones. I waited 2 minutes and casually walked to the back, not knowing what to expect. The flight attendant was there with a man holding up a police badge. The man whispered, "I'm glad you're here. I'm an undercover cop." I knew something was wrong straight away. The flight attendant whispered, "I've flown with Captain Hopkins for 6 years. I don't exactly know what's wrong, but I know that's not Hopkins, and we're flying the wrong way." She showed me the flight map of where we were heading. The plane is heading toward an abandoned airport. I leaned over the map. My body was pumping with adrenaline because it was the perfect place to crash a plane. There's an empty space above the pilot's room. I can climb up and listen to what the pilot and co-pilot are planning through the ceiling. Take my number. If you can tell there's something fishy going on, text me one word, now. That's the signal to move. And to distract everyone while I climbed above the ceiling, the flight attendant made an announcement on the speakers to tell everyone to keep their seatbelts on. Through the cracks, I could hear
Little do you know, you were just on the plane chilling right now. I think it's going to be another normal flight, another just good day. Another just good day. From New York to ATL. You don't know that it could be the last day. That's scary,
men
bro.
In the
I guess that's just life.
Pilot's room talking. 15 years ago today, our brother died because of Captain Hopkins. Now we get to crash his plane with him tied up on it while we impersonate him. I texted the undercover cop. Now, the cart slammed into the pilot's room door.
Oh, wait. So this is revenge. This is revenge. What did Hopkins do? Chat, that's kind of dark. Chat. King Cheese, that's kind of dark. I don't know. You gotta call it, not me, but that's kind of dark.
Him. I texted the undercover pilot's room talking. 15 years ago today, our brother died because of Captain Hopkins.
Their brother died because of Captain Hopkins. So they took over the plane and said, we gonna kill everybody on his and blame it on him.
Now we get to crash his plane with him tied up on it while we impersonate him. I texted the undercover cop. Now, the cart slammed into the pilot's room door and the cop kicked it open. I dropped through the ceiling and tackled the fake pilot out of his seat. The cop pinned the co-pilot to the floor. The flight attendant grabbed the radio. "Mayday, our pilot is gone. We need help landing right now." She looked at me. "Find Hopkins, the actual pilot. He has to be on this plane somewhere." I sprinted to the back of the plane, checking every door. I yanked open the closet next to the bathrooms, and Captain Hopkins was inside with his hands tied and tape across his mouth. I ripped the tape off. "Get me to the controls." He ran to the front and dropped into the pilot's chair. He grabbed the wheel. "Tower, this is the real Captain Hopkins. I'm landing this plane." When we finally landed, the cops dragged the brothers off in handcuffs. The flight attendant came up to me in the aisle. I pulled the napkin out of my pocket and held it up. "You saved 200 lives with this." She smiled and took it back.
I don't know, chat. That's kind of dark. That's kind of dark. No? Ref says not dark. Ref says, dude, because the question is, what did Captain Hopkins do? We didn't even get to see. What did the question is, what did Captain Hopkins do that the brothers wanted to take over the plane? That's what makes it dark. Like, what did he do? Like, yeah, but it had a positive ending at least. All right, I won't run a poll. Because I feel like if ref says not dark, but chat says dark, ref should still be banned, right?
Every time we heard a knock on the front door, my dad would yell, "Stealth mode," and we had 30 seconds to kill every light in the house. My brother and I would race through the rooms, flipping switches, yanking cords, shutting off the TV mid-show, while some guy outside banged on the front door yelling, "I know you're in there, buddy." Dad timed us. Once everything was dark, no talking, no moving, no looking out the windows. We'd sit there until Dad did his owl hoot, which meant all clear. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes almost an hour. Afterwards, he'd high-five us.
They on the run?
Real ninjas couldn't do better. He told us stealth mode was top secret. Never tell your teachers, your friends, nobody. Other people wouldn't understand. For years, I believed him. When I was 8, I asked Dad why we had to hide so much. He said some annoying guy kept bothering our family, and stealth mode was how we dealt with him. I felt proud we had a secret skill that could...
Dad, how long you think that's gonna last? How long you think that's gonna last, bro? Come on. What are you going to do when he pops up during the day or pops up at their school, Dad?
Outsmart bad guys. By the time I was 10, I heard the voice outside yell something about a bet and $20. I tugged Dad's sleeve and whispered, "Is the bad guy trying to steal our money?" Dad shushed me so hard I flinched. When I was 12, I broke the window rule, peeked through the blinds, and saw a completely normal guy in a polo shirt standing on the porch rubbing his forehead. He didn't look like a criminal. He looked like someone's tired uncle. At 13, I told Dad I was just going to open the door and tell the guy to leave us alone. The color left his face. You absolutely cannot do that. That was the first time stealth mode didn't feel like a game. By 15 or 16, it barely happened anymore. But when it did, Dad would peek through the blinds looking guilty. Mom just shook her head from the couch and muttered something under her breath. I was 17
Broke
and
ass.
home alone when I heard it. I know you're in there. It's been 12 years, man. I opened the front door. The guy
12 years? Damn!
nearly fell backwards. Normal-looking dude, middle-aged, holding a crumpled piece of paper. Oh, hi. Is your dad home? I'm his old college roommate. He held up the paper. Your old man bet me $20 Michael Jordan wouldn't win his 6th ring. That was 1998. I've been knocking on this door ever since. He handed me the IOU, both their signatures, right there at the bottom. I left it on the kitchen table. Mom saw it first and laughed so hard she had to hold the counter. Dad picked it up, read it, put it back down, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "So now he knows someone's home." Then he turned off the kitchen light and got under the table. We were never in danger. My dad just lost a bet because of the greatest of all time.
Chat, I'm pretty sure there was a rule for stupid stories. We said dark, strange, weird. Stupid has got to be under there. Chat, that's got to be a letter, bro. That's got to be a letter. That's got to be a letter. Are you fucking kidding me? This is on the weird side. This has got to be a letter. $20 is $20, yeah, for sure. This has got to be a letter, bro. I do not remember no rule about stupid story. This is weird. This is you gotta admit this is weird. Like, do I have to break it down for you? Making your kids play a whole stealth story and not tell anyone for years over a $20 college roommate bet? There's nothing weird about that? I think that's the first one. Did we actually have a rule about weird stories? Yes, we did. We did. I literally said dark, strange, weird. Hey, Unc, we can add it after this video, but I'm going for not dark. Wow. Y'all are... Wow. Chat's also going not dark or not weird. That's crazy. That should be a letter for sure. That should be the first one, but okay. All right. So are we now doing strange, weird, and dark?
I became my school's hero for 1 minute before everyone watched what happened next. I don't play around when it comes to Halloween, so during our school's Halloween dance, I dressed up in real firefighter gear from my dad's closet. Real jacket, real boots, real helmet. I strutted around the gym like I owned the place, until the fog machine popped like a toaster and the fire alarm went off. Everyone cheered thinking it was part of the show until I smelled burnt plastic. Teachers started waving their arms, telling everyone to stay calm, but I noticed the orange extension cord powering the machine didn't stop at the wall. It ran out the side doors and down the hallway toward the science wing. Then someone near the door yelled, "Smoke in the hallway," and teachers started shouting for everyone to evacuate. Real sirens started wailing outside and fire trucks pulled up. The crowd poured into the parking lot while firefighters rushed through the main doors. That's when one of them spotted me standing near the entrance in full gear. "You, with us," he shouted. "We're clearing the east wing." I opened my mouth to say I'm just a student, but he shoved a flashlight into my hand and pushed me forward. The hallway was dark and filled with smoke. We followed the orange cord past the lockers until it...
How old is this kid? Oh my God. How old is this guy? 13? I guess the kid can do it. How do you not look at the kid's face and go, "You're clearly a kid," though? Like, come on. Come on. Like, what is that? Chat, it is crazy. I think it has to be a letter.
Disappeared under Mrs. Carter's classroom door. One of the firefighters reached for the handle and jerked back. "Hot," he said, then looked at me. "Hit it!" But I only had my foam axe. I swung as hard as I could and it bounced off with a pathetic squeak. The firefighter grabbed it, swung himself, and the foam bent in half. He stared at it, muttered, "These damn budget cuts," and tossed it aside. That's when someone shouted from down the hall and he waved to the others. "Forget this door. We'll circle back once we've got tools." They started heading back down the hall, but then I heard it. A squeaky wheels spinning frantically. This was Mrs. Carter's room, and the class pet Mr. Nibbles was still inside. I turned
bro, let Mr. Nibbles die. It's time.
Back to the door.
It's okay.
The handle was glowing red. I wrapped my jacket sleeve around my arm and threw my shoulder into the bottom panel until it cracked. Smoke poured out and choked me instantly. The hamster cage was on the counter.
Forget Mr. Nibbles!
Were eating the papers around it. I grabbed the melted cord with my sleeve and yanked it from the wall. A spark bit through the fabric straight into my skin, and I screamed, but kept pulling until the plug came loose. I grabbed the cage with my smoking sleeve, and the metal seared into my palm. I could smell my skin burning. My lungs felt like they were filled with with glass, and my vision was going black around the edges, but I ran. When I burst through the side door, I collapsed face first onto the concrete and threw Mr. Nibbles onto the grass so I wouldn't crush him. I could hear cheering as hands grabbed me, and someone pulled off my helmet.
Oh my God.
A firefighter was staring down at me. Kid, you're a hero. That's when I heard the scream. I turned my head and watched a hawk swoop down, grab Mr. Nibbles in its talons, and fly away.
No, Mr. Nibbles! Mr. Nibbles! No! Nah, bro. That's foul. That's foul. Dog just risked his whole life. His whole life to save that damn rat. Ducky, that's definitely dark. That's up there. That's definitely up there. Ref says dark. I think Chad is calling dark. Let's give it a letter. D. I don't even know what I would do. Honestly, I think I would just be glad I came out alive. You know what I mean? And I did my best to save Mr. Nibbles as well. I'm sorry. Teach that, you know. Next video.
My daughter came home crying with an F because her teacher doesn't know what color blood is. The first time I realized something was wrong, Riley came home from school holding out her arm. Look, Dad, you can see the blue blood in my veins right here. She traced the blue lines under her skin with her finger. I put down my coffee and looked at her. Actually, sweetheart, that's not true. Blood is always red because of hemoglobin. It's just darker red in your veins. Her face scrunched up, but Mrs. Miller showed us a whole PowerPoint about it. She even had diagrams from a science book. The next morning, I packed my work scrubs in my bag. I'm an ER nurse at Mercy General, and I was working the afternoon shift anyway. I sent Mrs. Miller an email asking if I could do a quick presentation about blood for career day that afternoon. She loved the idea. When I arrived, Mrs. Miller introduced me as Riley's dad who works at the hospital. 28 kids stared up at me from their desks. I heard you guys learned that blood is blue inside your body, I said. The entire class nodded enthusiastically. Mrs. Miller beamed from her desk in the corner. I pulled out a blood collection tube from my pocket and held it up. This is what we use to draw blood at the hospital. Notice something. The tube creates a vacuum. No oxygen inside at all. I paused. When we draw blood with these, it never touches oxygen until we pop the cap off. I showed them photos on my phone of sealed blood tubes. See? Still red. Mrs. Miller's smile started fading.
Mrs. Miller about to crash on you. You're wilding. You're wilding for undermining her in front of all those kids. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy to undermine the teacher in front of all those people and not even give her a heads up. And not even give her a heads up that you're about to do that. Like, by the way, Mrs. Miller, I heard that you've been telling the class blood is blue. I must tell you that is false, and I'd like to do a correct presentation on it. He said, fuck her, bro.
She shifted in her chair and cleared her throat. A boy raised his hand and pointed to their science textbook. But our textbook says it's blue. I picked up the book and checked the publication date, 1998. Medicine updates pretty fast. We used to think lots of things that turned out to be wrong. Mrs. Miller suddenly stood up from her desk, her hands gripping the edge. Well, thank you for that interesting presentation, Mr. Johnson, but we need to move on to math now. I nodded and started packing when a girl in the back raised her hand. So our textbook is wrong? The class erupted in whispers.
Crazy. Not something you could ever believe. Crazy.
Mrs. Miller's jaw clenched and her voice got tight. The curriculum says, actually,
the book
I interrupted,
is wrong?
Pulling up the state science standards on my phone. I walked over and turned my phone toward her.
We could
the
be
current
wrong?
curriculum specifically mentions this myth as something to correct. She stared at the screen and her eyes narrowed. Her mouth pressed into a thin line and her nostrils flared. Can I speak with you in the hallway? The kids watched as we walked out and the door closed behind us. Do you have any idea how hard it is when parents undermine my authority? Her face was red and her voice was sharp.
It's fair.
Now they'll question everything I say.
No,
I
it's
kept
fair.
my voice calm. Isn't that exactly what we want
Yeah,
them to
that's
do?
also
Question
true.
things and
That's also true. Isn't that what you want them to do? Right? Don't you want them to ask questions? Don't you want them to push the agenda? Right? Don't you want that? To be curious. Come on.
learn critical thinking. She crossed her arms tightly. I've been teaching for 22 years. I'm not changing my whole curriculum because some nurse thinks he knows better than our textbooks. The next day, I found out Mrs. Miller gave the class a pop quiz. Riley came home crying, her face red and puffy. Her hands were shaking as she handed me a paper with a big red F on it. I took a deep breath and felt my jaw tighten.
Oh, you're gonna get back at my daughter? Oh, wow. Now we gotta run the fade. Now we gotta run the fade.
Tighten as I looked at the question. What color is blood inside the body? Riley had written red, and Mrs. Miller had marked it wrong. I requested a meeting with Principal Davis and brought printouts of medical textbooks, the state science standards, and Riley's quiz. The principal called in Mrs. Miller and asked her directly, is blood blue inside the body? After a long pause, Mrs. Miller said, it's what the children understand better. I leaned forward in my chair. My daughter is crying every morning before school because she's afraid of getting F's for writing down the truth. The next day, the school replaced their science books. Now whenever Riley learns something new at school, she comes home and asks me, Dad, is this actually true or is it just a Mrs. Miller truth? My daughter—
Ooh, or is it just a Mrs. Miller truth? Are they capping at me because they don't know any better, Dad? That was a good story. That was actually really fire. That was kind of dark though, Chad. For her to give an F after we done talked about it in front of everybody in the class? Rules were weird, stupid, and dark, right? Yeah. They sound like Reddit stories? I mean, I don't know. They could be. I don't know the channel. Not really dark, just rude. Some teacher I had said that fart was a cuss word equal to the N-word. just pulling shit out their ass. It's like when your parents say don't turn the light on in the car because it makes you blind. Like, okay, bro. All right, not dark.
My teacher looked at my drawing, covered her mouth, and ran out of the room screaming. Our assignment was to draw something that makes us happy, so I drew me.
Oh God, what?
My teacher looked at my drawing, covered her mouth, and ran out of the room screaming. Our assignment was to draw something that makes us happy, so I drew me and my dad fishing at the lake, something we do every Saturday. I picked up my paper to see what she saw. 2 stick figures, a fishing rod, a lake, a building that said Larry's bait and tackle, and a fish that I even labeled fish in case there was any confusion. I had no idea what I did wrong. She came back with 2 security guards, still screaming, grabbed my drawing off my desk, and pointed at me like I was dangerous. They walked me out without saying a word and sat me down in Principal Carter's office. He had my drawing under a desk lamp like he was examining a ransom note. He looked up. Explain this. I told him it's me and my dad fishing at the lake. He pointed at my stick figure's hand. You're telling me this is a fishing rod when I'm looking at a weapon. I told him there's a line coming off it with a fish on the end, and I literally wrote the word fish next to it. Mrs. Keller leaned in. It looks like he's aiming at the building. I told her it's Larry's bait and tackle where we buy worms, and he's facing the water because that's where fish live and that's how fishing works. I didn't understand how every adult in the room was looking at a fish and seeing a threat. Principal Carter picked up his phone and called my dad. Mr. Davis, your son drew an image that appears to depict a school shooting. We need you here immediately. Shit. I sat there.
That's a pretty deep accusation right there. That's a pretty deep accusation right there. Mrs. Miller, you best be on the money with this or you're fired. That's dark. That's already dark. I think already put a check mark on that. School shooting?
Staring at my drawing, wondering how I ended up here. My dad showed up still in his work shirt with dirt on his hands and stopped in the doorway. Where is he? What did he draw? Principal Carter.
Can we just slow down and go back and see how much aura Dad just had walking in that door? I'm sorry, that totally off topic, I understand, but we gotta be honest.
I sat there staring at my drawing, wondering how I ended up here. My dad
just wait on it.
Showed up still in his work shirt with dirt on his hands and stopped in the doorway. Where is he? What did he draw? Principal Carter slid the drawing across the desk, and my dad picked it up, stared at it, and laughed. Not a chuckle, a full laugh. This is from last Saturday. He pulled out his phone, turned it around, and the photo was right there. Me standing in front of Larry's bait and tackle holding my fishing rod. Same building, same rod, same everything. He looked at the principal. Is everyone in this room slow? My son drew a fish, labeled it fish, drew a fishing rod, drew a bait shop, and you looked at that and saw a school shooting. Nobody said anything. You pulled my son out of class and called me at work because not one adult in this building stopped and said, hey, maybe that's a fishing rod. Mrs. Keller stared at the floor, and Principal Carter had nothing. My dad put the drawing in his pocket. We're done here. Let's go. Next art class, I drew Mrs. Keller and labeled it donkey in case there was any confusion.
Damn, that was kind of dark. That was mean. Are you allowed to, like, that was mean. That was kind of mean. Not dark, but stupid as fuck. Low-key stupid. I'm not gonna lie, this story is some buns. That's gotta count for a letter, man. Ref? Is Ref counting it for a letter? She bad though, says Jason. Jason says Mrs. Keller is bad though, so we should let it slide. Maybe Jason's right. The father is bad. We should let it slide. W. Jason, but no. Ref says, Stupidido! That's A on the board. That's A on the board. These are very much like Zack's films at this point. I would say the stories on Zack's films seem a bit more realistic, though, chat. Am I wrong? These stories seem fictional. Zack film stories seem real, at least from what I remember. Maybe I'm tweaking. Maybe these are real too, and we don't know. They just don't feel real. Next
Dad
up,
measured me for the 5th time that day and screamed, "Why are you still?"
these are more real. Zack's are like what ifs.
Dad measured me for the 5th time that day and screamed, "Why are you still 5'10"? I stared down at my 5'3" dad, and he glared. "Stop looking down at me. No son of mine will ever look down on me. We're going to fix this before it's too late." And so the next day, Dad came into my room with x-rays of my legs marked with red X's saying, "I found a surgeon who will remove these bones so that you can finally be shorter than me."
Dad, bro! What kind of narcissism is that, Dad? Chill!
Already scheduled the surgery. I stared in horror while Dad jumped around saying he couldn't wait to be taller than me. I knew I had to make the surgery impossible.
Nah. Nah. You gonna make me 5'2"? Dad's only 5'3", so I gotta be 5'2". Nah, Dad. We can talk about this. That's insane. You're ruining it for me, bro. You're ruining it.
So I started running 26 miles non-stop, and even though it hurt, I kept going until my legs gave out because I needed my bones to be so damaged they couldn't operate on me. And then on the day of my scheduled surgery, the doctor took one look at...
I want to say already Dark forcing your son to get a surgery that he doesn't want to get. That's all I'm going to say. Forcing your son to get a surgery that he doesn't want to get because you're a narcissist and don't want anyone around you to be better than you. Already up there with the darkness. That's yeah.
X-rays of my damaged legs.
That's African
and refused to operate on me. Dad got angry. Why? He's perfectly fine. But the surgeon shook his head and pointed at the X-ray. His bones are too damaged. If I cut into them, they could shatter, and a shard of bone could hit his heart. Your son could die. Dad crossed his arms. I'm okay taking that risk. Just do it so he can be shorter than me. But the doctor kept saying no, and I thought it was finally over. But when we got home, Dad grabbed his toolbox and said, "If a surgeon isn't going to fix this, then I'll do it myself." He chased me around
I'm okay taking that risk, and now he's gonna cut this nigga's legs
the
off.
house screaming, "Get back here, you will be shorter than me." I ran outside across the yard, and that's when Dad's foot got caught on the garden hose, and he fell down hard, and I saw both his legs were bent the wrong way. Dad screamed, and I called the ambulance, and when they arrived, paramedics loaded him onto a stretcher, while one of them questioned me. "How do you know this man?" he asked. When I said he was my dad, his eyes bulged, and he looked back and forth between my dad and me, and then
that
suddenly
short-ass
asked,
nigga?
"How is he your dad? He's so short." Dad thrashed so hard in the stretcher when he heard a paramedic had to sedate him. Dad measured.
Oh, even in his last moments before passing out, they letting this nigga know, you short as shit. You short as shit, boy. If you know a short person, chat, you know how angry they get. You know what I mean? You know how angry they get, dude. You know how angry they get. They're like little chihuahuas. I'm a little teapot, short and spout. Anything can pop him off, bro. Dark/stupid unk? I don't know. I thought that was funny. Chat, Ref is calling dark/stupid. I'm calling it funny. I disagree. Dark because of the chasing. Kind of stupid because of the heart leg thing. Dark and funny. I was going to say stupid weird, but this shit feels like a skit. I think this is the one we have to vote on. I think this is the one. Dark because the dad said he didn't care if his son died. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Unk, do you cream or squirt? We're at the R. These stories are actually pretty good. They're kind of peak, dude. I'll be honest.
A man climbed onto our school bus with a knife, and the first thing he heard was a slow clap from the back row. Confused, he screamed at our driver, Mrs. Worley, to keep driving and not stop for anyone. A kid leaned forward. "Nice ski mask. Did you cut the holes out yourself, or did your mommy help you?" The whole bus laughed. He waved the knife around. "Shut up and no one gets hurt.
Nigga.
Your hand is shaking so hard I can't tell if that's a threat or a dance move." He stepped toward the kid who said it, and 20 voices started talking at once. "Oh, he's walking now. Everybody watch out." He spun around, trying trying to find who said what, but insults were coming from
They're treating bro like he Drake, bro. They treating Doggo like he's Drake, man. He trying to throw out shots, and they're just like, you're not even hard, bro. You're not even hard. He came on with the knife. They're like, you're not even hard, bro. Come on now.
every direction. Bro seriously hijacked a bus with no plan, no getaway car, and a Walmart knife. This is the saddest crime I've ever seen. We wouldn't let him finish a single sentence. Are you robbing us for money? All I have is an EBT card and a bus pass. He pointed his knife at Mrs. Worley, and the whole
the worst people to rob are bus people, to be honest with you. They don't got much, bro. They can't even afford enough for a car. What they got?
Us went silent. A kid stood up. You can threaten us all you want,
They
but
still
if
working
you
their
point
way
that
up.
thing at Mrs. Worley again, we're gonna have a real different conversation. He laughed nervously and asked what a bunch of kids were going to do about it. A girl said, we're on the bus to the school for troubled teens. Half of us are here for assault, and the other half won't say why. Mrs. Worley looked at him over her shoulder. Honey, I've watched these kids make grown men cry over smaller things than pointing a knife at me. He lowered the knife. Smart choice. She brings us donuts on Fridays. We protect what matters.
Oh, she said they some badasses, boy. They will jump your
His
ass.
face twisted, and he shoved toward the kid with the knife raised. Mrs. Worley pulled over, stood up, and stepped between them. That's enough now. He grabbed her arm and shoved her into the dashboard. For half a second, the bus was completely silent. Then a kid came over the seats like something feral, and 3 others were right behind him. The guy didn't have time to like something feral, and 3 others were right behind him. The guy did
On a motherfucking Friday. Sorry, they're about to jump him, but before he gets jumped, I just want to say he's double G'd up on a motherfucking Friday. I'm in there like swimwear on a Saturday now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dived in the bussy and I swam to the butt. Come on now.
Didn't have time to turn around before someone hit him in the back of the knees and he went down. The knife skittered under the seats and kids were on top of him before he could reach for it. Someone had him in a headlock while someone else pinned his arms. A girl sat on his legs and went through his pockets just to add insult to injury.
This nigga
pressed the emergency button. I need police at my location. Tell them there's no rush. The situation is handled. The guy was crying. Please get off me. I can't breathe. A kid leaned close to his face. You should have thought about that before you touched Mrs. Worley. When the cops showed up, they found him tied to a seat with shoelaces and snot running down his face. A man.
Oh my God, they whooped his ass and robbed him. That is beautiful. That's a good story. Nothing bad about that. No letter. Letter because the robber got a fatty and Miss Worley is back. Nah, dog. That was a good story. That was fire. Teacher's son did what?
In the middle of a test, the sprinklers started spraying. Everyone instantly screamed, "Ah!" But I realized it wasn't water spraying on us. Someone yelled, "What is this? What is on us?" We all tried to stand up and run, but everyone was slipping. The alarm blared, and the principal yelled on the speaker, "Everyone needs to get out of the building immediately. There is an active threat inside." But just before we could get out, our teacher stepped in the way. He said,
"It's piss?" Stop, don't fucking say that. It is not pee. Oh my God, it can't be. R. Kelly came into school. Who? R. Kelly's still in jail, ain't he?
Wait, I think I just saw the threat out there, but the hall was empty. There's nobody out there. Let us out. I tried to grab the handle, but he slapped my hand. No, nobody's leaving. Everyone was coughing, and that's when I realized I liked the smell. Oh my God, it was gasoline. Half the class rushed over to the windows, but we couldn't just jump out because we...
Imagine, I like the smell. Oh my God, it was pee. Yeah, that'd be the Tomorrow's Teachings version of this shit. That's when I realized I liked the smell. Oh my God, it was piss. Yeah.
We were on the 3rd floor. Stacy yelled, "Please, let us out. We have to make a run for it." But he just stood there. He just said, 30 more seconds. Everyone was confused. What? We need to go. We'll die from the fumes. But he just smiled. 20. What if a fire...
He trying to kill y'all. He's trying to
Fire starts. We'll all burn. 10 seconds. A girl yelled, "Ah! It's in my eyes! I can't see!" It was complete chaos until our teacher reached for the lock. He turned it. The door clicked open and someone walked in. "Thanks for letting me in, Dad." Stacy yelled, "Dad, you have a son!" They both turned around, locking eyes straight onto me. We all started backing up, and when I saw the guy's face, my heart sank. I recognized him. He pointed straight at me and said, You put me in jail for 5 years. Now it's finally time to get revenge." I couldn't believe my eyes. This was the same guy I had called the police on 5 years ago. He had tried to rob my grandma at gunpoint and had been waiting to get me back. We watched him pull something out of his pocket and hold it up, and we saw it was a Bic lighter. Everyone
We about to all die!
It was one tiny flame, and we'd all immediately burn. I yelled, "No, please, you'll kill us all." He just smiled. He started flicking, and we all yelled, "Stop, please, we'll all die." He flicked over and over, and I knew I had to stop him before it worked. "Please, my grandma was all I had. I didn't mean to make you suffer." And when I said that, I saw
hell nah. I did mean to make you suffer. You trying to rob my granny? Oh, you, man.
Look at me, but he looked upset. We were all crying, and I saw him really looking at his son like he didn't know who he was. Flick, flick. Then finally,
really, you're looking at your son like you didn't know who he was? Like while he was plotting this, while you were plotting this, you didn't think this is not a good idea? Now he's coming to his senses? Now?
it caught a flame. He held it up, but I saw our teacher pick up the fire extinguisher from the wall. I knew there was no way that tiny thing would save us from the fire, but his son said, "This is for what you did, for putting me in prison with those diddlers."
Smack him with it!
But right before he dropped the lighter, our teacher raised the fire extinguisher, and in one moment, he slammed it down on his son's head hard. His son instantly fell over, and our teacher stood there panting. He was crying. "I'm so sorry. I failed all of you. My son was a monster." The police ran in and grabbed him, and he looked at me one more time with tears in his eyes as they took him out. In the middle of a
Oh my God. That was fucking crazy. That was insane. What? What do you say to that, chat? Was that dark or what? Someone said dumb. Letter for terrorist attack. Top 20 shit that never happened. He definitely did that on purpose so we could drop the soap again. Ref, you're calling stupid dark? Are we all calling stupid dark with Ref? Me personally, I'm putting it up there. Yes, sir. Yo, do a part 2 and make a 2-part vid. Trust YouTube will love this shit. We had one Ref. You know what, chat? You're right. We only had one Ref. And honestly, I don't even have enough pieces of content to upload this. So look, I'm gonna scam you guys. You guys have to spell darker. You know what? Darkest. Darkening. Darkened. Honestly, I thought it would be forever till we got dark, for real. All right, let's vote on it. Is it darkened or darkest? All right, darkest it is. Here, the same rules apply. If it's dark, stupid, or weird, right? Darks, disturbing, stupid, weird.
I was sitting in class when my phone buzzed. "Look under your desk." Same text. The whole class bent down at the same time. Taped underneath each desk was an envelope with our name on it. I ripped mine open, and a Polaroid slid out. A blood splatter on white tile. I looked around. Everyone was holding something different. A lamp knocked over. A knife. Drag marks on
play a
carpet.
game.
30 different photos. All pieces of something horrible. Our phones buzzed.
Oh, God. It's not real, though, right? It's not a real game. It's just a joke, right? We're just having a fun day for the last day of school.
Piece together the puzzle. You have 5 minutes. Everyone jumped up. We started comparing photos. Some
Mr.
had
Beast,
timestamps.
chill!
We threw them on the floor in order. Blood, struggle, weapon, a body being dragged, a car trunk, dirt, a shovel. 3 minutes left. The photos weren't fitting right. Some inside a house, some outside. Then someone noticed the edges. They fit together like an actual puzzle. We started connecting them. Blood splatter to broken lamp, knife to drag marks. 30 photos becoming one massive crime scene. 1 minute left. Something was missing. One missing piece and the whole class
Under
fails.
the teacher's
Everyone
desk.
turns to the kid in the corner. Arms crossed. "I'm not playing this sick game." The whole class turned on him. "Put it down." He didn't budge.
Oh, he
30
had it.
seconds. 20.
Put that shit
then 10.
down!
He threw his photo down. The centerpiece. A child's bedroom. 2 bodies on the floor. The door swung open. Our teacher walked in clapping. "You just solved a 20-year-old cold case. When I was 8, someone left these photos in my mailbox. 1 each day. Pictures of my parents' murder scene." She pointed at the puzzle. "The killer left DNA on the film. 20 years later, I finally got a match." She looked at us. It was my uncle. I was sitting in class.
What the Hey, solving a murder, traumatizing kids. Deadass, bro. Like, hey, man, fuck you guys. You're gonna help me solve my case, dog. That dark as hell. Lisa, this shit not dark. Trust. Yo. Hey, W kids though, man. W kids. Add that letter, cause what? Nah, facts. Dark S might not be. We might have to go dark Esther at this point, Jack. Cause goddamn.
After 8 years on death row, I was ready to die. They said I killed Rebecca. My fingerprints were on the knife. My blood was at the scene. I told them I didn't do it, but nobody believed me. I spent years fighting, filed every appeal, exposed every contradiction.
What was she gonna do if they didn't solve it? No, facts. Hey, you guys tried, dude. I'm blowing up the classroom or something. Like, what would she have done if they didn't solve it?
After 8 years on death row, I was ready to die. They said I killed Rebecca. My fingerprints were on the knife. My blood was at the scene. I told them I didn't do it, but nobody believed me. I spent years fighting, filed every appeal, exposed every contradiction in the evidence. None of it mattered. My lawyer stopped returning my calls. My appeals were exhausted. My family stopped visiting 2 years ago. Even my own mother thought I did it. The only person who ever believed me was my grandmother, and she passed away 5 years ago. So when they asked what I wanted for my last meal, I thought of her. Her meatloaf, the one she made me every birthday. I wrote out her recipe from memory, every measurement and technique precise. An hour later, the prison chef showed up at my cell holding my form. What is this? Meatloaf. This is a novel, not a recipe. Ground beef 60%, ground pork 40, breadcrumbs soaked in whole milk for exactly 10 minutes. Yellow onion,
doing all of that shit.
sauteed in butter until translucent. Fresh thyme, not dried. Worcestershire, 2 tablespoons, no substitutes. And this glaze with brown sugar and apple cider vinegar, brushed on at 340 degrees, 20 minutes before done. He looked at me through the bars. Why so specific? It's how my grandmother made it. She's gone now. If I'm going to die Friday, I want to taste her cooking one last time. He was quiet for a moment. Some of these ingredients we don't stock. Fresh thyme, whole milk, real butter. I'll have to special order them. I have 48 hours. He sighed. I'll make it exactly how you wrote it. Thursday morning, the ingredients arrived and the chef started cooking. I could smell it from my cell an hour later. Onions sauteing in butter. Grandma's kitchen. Saturday.
Yo, please tell me he gets free. God, like, please tell me somehow he gets free. Because what the hell's the point of this story if he doesn't? Like, he has to, right? Because what's the point of this? If this nigga just eats the food and dies, I'm gonna crash the fuck out.
Mornings, her humming while she cooked. I sat on my bunk and cried for the first time in 8 years. Thursday afternoon, the chef ran into problems. The oven temperature wouldn't hold steady. He had to recalibrate, start over on the glaze twice. It has to be perfect, he told the warden. It's his last meal. Thursday night, I couldn't sleep. Not from fear, from the smell. The meatloaf baking through the night while I sat alone with memories of the only person who believed I was innocent. Friday, execution day. 10 a.m. and no meal yet. Noon, and the chef said the glaze wasn't right. 2 p.m., a guard brought regular prison lunch because the meatloaf still wasn't ready. 4 p.m., 2 hours left. The smell was overwhelming. Guards kept walking past the kitchen just to breathe it in. 5 p.m., the warden came to my cell. Your meal isn't ready. We're delaying the execution 2 hours. 6 p.m. came and went. The original execution time. I was still alive, waiting for meatloaf. 7:30, the chef.
What's happening? Wait, what's happening? What's the chef doing?
Finally appeared with a covered plate. He looked exhausted. He uncovered it, and the meatloaf looked exactly like my grandmother's. I ate slowly, savored every bite. Perfect. I finished the last bite at 7:51. 9 minutes left. The guard opened my cell. Time to go, Preston. They walked me down the hallway past other cells. Inmates were silent. They always were during execution walks. We reached the preparation room. The chaplain asked if I wanted to pray. I said no. 7:55. 5 minutes. They started walking me toward the chamber. That's when the warden's phone rang. He answered, and his face changed. Stop. Everyone stop moving. What's happening? Rebecca's ex-boyfriend just confessed to her murder. You're innocent. My legs gave out. The guard caught me. The chef appeared in the hallway out of breath. He slid down the wall and sat next to me. If that meatloaf had been ready on time, you'd already be gone. I just sat there, still alive. Because my grandmother's recipe was too complicated to rush. She saved my life. She always did. After 8
W Grandma! W Chef! W Grandma! What? Oh, that was so awesome. Ducky's locked in. No, locked in as shit, bro. Locked in as hell. I was like, please free him. I'm the target audience for this, dude. Bro should get executed for having the name Preston. That is so cool. You have something against the name Preston? I think that's a nice name. Preston. Preston is nice.
I was stopped at a red light when headlights flashed across my mirror and everything went sideways. The airbag slammed my head back and guacamole from my DoorDash order flew everywhere. I couldn't hear anything except ringing. I crawled out through the passenger side.
Who's gonna clean that up, man?
Tried to stand and my legs gave out. I'm on my hands and knees on the pavement when I hear, bro, what the hell? My brand new car. I just got it yesterday. An orange Hellcat was sitting sideways in the intersection with smoke coming off the tires. Some kid was standing over me screaming, why'd you reverse into me?
Hellcat,
I looked
bro.
up at him from the ground. I can't feel my legs. I don't care about your legs. Look what you did to my car. He pulled out his phone and started filming his Hellcat.
Nigga, it's a
without even
fucking
glancing at
Hellcat,
me
bro.
or my
Relax.
flipped car. My dad's a lawyer, so you're either gonna pay for my car or we're gonna bury you. I couldn't even stand up, and this kid was threatening to sue me. Cops showed up 10 minutes later, and the kid completely transformed, limping and holding his neck. He told the officer I reversed into his Hellcat for no reason. The cop took one look at my Corolla on its side next to the brand new Hellcat and didn't even ask for my side. He gave me the ticket and
They have a thing against gingers, bro. All of these stories, I'm starting to understand. I think they have a thing against gingers.
left. I'm sitting on the curb holding my legs
At least
when a
this one.
second cruiser pulled up. The kid saw it and started limping again. The door opened and I heard, "Oh hell no." It was my dad's buddy from the neighborhood. He'd been on patrol and heard the call. He crouched down next to me. "Tell me everything." I told him what happened.
Thank you,
He looked
please.
at both cars and shook his head. "I believe you, but without proof there's nothing I can do. Is there anything, any witness, any camera, anything?"
Please.
I almost said no. Then I looked at my Corolla and saw it through the cracked windshield. The dash cam I installed 6 months ago to catch DoorDash scammers.
Oh,
Still mounted
shit.
to the dash.
Oh shit. Yeah, I think we all need to get a dash cam. After we all need a dash cam after this, bro. I think we do. Dude, because now that I'm thinking about it, a dash cam might save a nigga's life for insurance, dude.
Right where I left it. Actually, yeah, I do. He watched me crawl over to my car, reach through the broken window, and pull out the SD card. He plugged it into his laptop in the cruiser. 30 seconds of footage. My car sitting still at a red light. The Hellcat spinning out of
my
the
God.
dealership.
Oh
The kid
my God.
laughing right before he slammed into me. Everything the kid told the first cop was a lie, and now we
Dickhead.
both knew it. He stepped out of the cruiser, walked straight to the kid, and got in his face. "You want to tell me what really happened?" The kid backed up a full step. His fake limp was gone. He looked over at me, then back at the cop standing 6 inches from his nose. "You filed a false report, and that limp you walked in with healed up real quick." The kid started stammering. "My dad's a lawyer. You can't just call
Fuck
him.
your daddy,
You're gonna
nigga."
need one." He was right. I ended up settling for enough money to buy 5 Hellcats thanks to a $30 dash cam.
No, some of these endings are so stupid. like what? I don't know. I got 5 fucking Hellcats, bro. I got 5 of these shits, bro. Locked in, dude. All right, man. I just want to flex on them. Right quick. Lisa, what are you saying? Stupid or Coolio? Nah, keep going type shit. Ducky, do you get manicures? Yes.
I knocked out the smallest, weakest kid in school. While I was bench pressing,
Pussy. You're a pussy for that. I'm sorry. Just had to say that from the jump.
I knocked out the smallest, weakest kid in school. While I was bench pressing, he cracked my ribs with a 5-pound dumbbell and
Never mind. It's war. I don't care.
smiled. That was Chester. He was 4'11", 85
Fuck you,
pounds,
Chester.
and was the worst bully I ever met. His 2 brothers were 6'6", 300 pounds of pure muscle. Nobody touched Chester because they were terrified of his big brothers. I told the teacher, but he never believed that Chester had the strength to actually hurt anyone. I walked around with 2 cracked ribs for 3 months.
Oh,
and couldn't laugh
hell
without
nah.
wincing. A week later, my history teacher stepped out. Chester whispered into my ear, "Have you ever felt a tiger's claw?" Then he stabbed a pencil an inch deep into my back.
This nigga Chester is Chucky.
I bled out onto the floor and everyone gasped. I needed 7 stitches. My teacher asked the class if anyone saw it. Every single student looked away. Chester smiled again. He was loving this power. PE baseball. Chester slammed a metal bat across my knee. I limped for a month. I still feel it when it rains. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell
Look, bro. Look. Cracked rib. You let him slide there. But after the pencil, you still didn't whoop his ass yet?
anyone. I knew I had to handle this myself. So
Type.
I started kickboxing 5
Type.
days a week for 6 months straight. I sparred with semi-pros, got beaten
Okay,
up
he's
badly
like,
at first,
"I'm warming
then
up."
slowly started landing shots and earned their respect. I stored every one of Chester's hits in the back of my mind.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
a college scholarship and couldn't afford to risk losing it, so I waited for the
This nigga said, "Is this the time to become a school shooter? Is this like a reason?" Because someone said buy a gun. Is this like a reason to become a school shooter? Are we saying there are very few reasons, but this is one of the reasons to be a school shooter right here? This is one of them. Is that what you're saying? Dash cam bingo? Yeah, that's fire. We got that lined up for sure. Yes, school shooter time. Yeah, school shooter origin story type shit. Dude, you're wild. You're wildin'. Buy a gun is crazy.
The last day of school, I walked up to him and said, "Hey Chester, have you ever felt a tiger's claw?" He looked confused. Before he could say a word, I threw everything, punches, kicks, elbows, and laid him out on the concrete, unconscious, bleeding out of his smug face. A crowd gathered and went completely silent. Then his two brothers pushed through the crowd and got in my face. "Try that shit on us. Go ahead, try it." I looked up at both of them and said, "You might kill me, but I'll take one of you with me to the grave. I swear it." They went quiet, glanced at each other, then walked away. For as big as they were, they had never actually been tested. Chester had 17 broken bones and ate through a straw for 4 months. No charges were pressed.
Damn. You did him kind of crazy, don't you think? God damn.
Because even his own parents knew he had it coming. When I think about that day, I still get the warm and fuzzies.
Better the gun? No, that was dark. That was dark. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's up there. That's an S. I would call that an S.
I flipped the water bottle and watched it land, and the whole class went berserk. Our teacher had said if I got it 10 times in a row, there'd be no homework for midterm, and I only needed one more flip.
Oh, shit.
Everyone gathered round, and I took a deep breath, swinging it precisely. It came off my hand perfectly and started.
Chassis getting it? Is he getting it? One's in the chat if he gets it. Two's in the chat, he doesn't get it. One's in the chat, he gets it. Two's in the chat, he doesn't get it. If he doesn't get it, we ban ZK Productions.
Rotating through the air as planned. I smiled because I was about to go down as class legend. But then I saw a hand fly through the air, and right as my bottle was about to land, the hand slapped it off course. The bottle flew into the wall and fell. I looked over to see who hit it and saw the teacher grinning ear to ear. Nobody cheats my class. We started protesting.
Ban that nigga! Ban him! I'm just kidding.
But he shouted to sit down, and whoever doesn't sit in the next 5 seconds will get double the homework.
That's cold,
he then went
teacher.
handing
That's fucking cold.
out the 5,000-word essay due in 7 days with a smile. Format your references as I asked, or you fail automatically. He sat at his desk and started flipping his own bottle to mock us. But that's when the kid from the back started laughing. The teacher leaned forward. "What are you laughing at?" But the kid just kept laughing and pointing behind him. The teacher started storming over, red in the face. "What are you laughing at?" But then suddenly he stopped, and his face changed color. The bottle I'd flipped was standing. Turns out when he'd hit it, it bounced off the wall straight on and fell down landing perfectly upright. I'd officially flipped it 10 times in a row.
Bring him back!
He had no choice but to take the essays off our desks. His jaw was clenched the whole time.
Fuck you, Teach. Fuck you, Teach. Hey, somebody give ZK moderator. Somebody give ZK moderator, dude. He's just like that. He's just like that. Cool story.
I was in the mall with my daughter when 3 teenagers in black hoodies started following us. I'm a retired cop who used to bust gangs for a living, so I knew a threat when I saw one. I glanced back and saw the guy in front had a gun print showing through his hoodie. My daughter was smiling at her phone while texting, completely oblivious to what was going on. My hand moved to my hip to feel for my own gun. My heart dropped. It wasn't there. We were defenseless. I needed to get my daughter Aaliyah to leave without telling her about the guy with the
Wait, you're in a mall?
Let's get back to the
Why wouldn't you just stay in the mall?
car. We can come back another day. She looked at me confused. No way, Dad.
Why not just stay in the... I mean, there's a chance, I guess, they would shoot up the mall. But if they're just following you, there's a chance they wouldn't want to take that risk of doing something in public?
We just got here. Let me check this store real quick. I glanced behind us, and the teenagers were getting closer. I grabbed her arm. We're leaving. Now. She rolled her eyes. Fine, but I need to pee first. She ran into the bathroom, and the second the door closed, the guy with the gun print was standing right in front of me. He pulled the gun halfway out of his pocket. Walk away, old man. Leave the girl with us. Now. This is your only warning. His hand moved to his waistband, but I managed to lunge for his wrist before he could pull the gun all the way out. Aaliyah walked out of the bathroom and saw us. Ah! The other 2 teenagers froze when they saw me pin their friend to the wall. I grabbed the gun off the floor and pointed it at them. But as I held it, I realized the gun was lighter than usual. I turned the gun over and saw a tiny orange tip on the barrel. It was a toy. How old are you? His cheek was pressed against the wall. 16. I looked at Aaliyah, who was staring at me. Dad, I know him. That's my boyfriend. I was just texting him earlier. I let go of him, and he wouldn't look at me. When I saw you with him, I thought she was cheating on me with you. So I wanted to scare you with a toy gun. I held up the toy gun. Aaliyah, after you 2 break up, make sure your next boyfriend isn't a little bitch.
Damn! Honestly, though, what the fuck was that, dude? Back, leave the girl with me, bro. Just dumb as shit. W dad, dude. W dad right there. Fucking shit, dude. I think that's the one. I think that's the one, chat. That's T. That was dumb as hell. That was dumb. That's T. Darkest Ducky. Nigga, I'm white. Didn't you know this was an all-white party, nigga? Somebody get this jingle off me.